Good day, everyone. My name is Shara May Arcabatingan, a third-year BS Entrepreneurship student from Section A. The term dates back to 1981 and was invented by Anton van Akmael, who proposed a new global investment fund for the stock markets in the developing countries and named it as Third World Equity Fund. Although there were many who was interested in the idea, but there are some who disagrees with the proposed name. It is because the term third world connotes extreme poverty, shoddy goods, and hopelessness to many at that time. Thus, Van Agmael created a new term and came up with the term emerging markets that suggests progress, uplift, and dynamism. Later on, the term emerging market became the universal term in the financial world to describe investment in the developing countries. Now, the term has been widely used by many, but the exact definition of emerging market is still complex and inconsistent. As you can see in the presentation, that is how other people interprets emerging market. To sum it up, emerging market is the term used to refer an economy or country that experiences massive economic growth and possesses some but not all characteristics of a developed country. So basically, pag sinabi nating emerging market, that refers to countries that is experiencing rapid economic growth. Parang they are transitioning from their developing phase into their developed phase. So, di ba, familiar naman tayo sa developing countries at developed country which was discussed earlier. So, yung mga countries na belong sa emerging markets are still in the developing countries, pero they are on the higher level na. Kasi, they does not totally rely on agriculture na lang, but they are open for other industries and they are having high technology which improve their economy at the same time nagtataas sa GDP nila. So, they are on its way para maging developed country. In order for developing countries to be an emerging market, they must do the following. Pag ang isang country belongs sa emerging markets, they attract global businesses kasi malago yung economy nila eh. So, yung mga global businesses parang ideal sa kanila na mag-venture into that country kasi malago nga yung economy. So, dapat yung global businesses must take note that there are common characteristics that an emerging markets have. And those are the following. As you can see in the module, there are key emerging markets that has been mentioned, and that is the BRICS countries, which composes Brazil, Russia, Indonesia, China, and South Africa countries. These countries are now emerging and they are slowly going to be a developed country. And that is how BRICS countries started or how they have united. So now, I will discuss to you how these countries are considered as emerging markets. First is here in Asia, where the spotlight is on China. As we all know, China is the third largest country in the world after Russia and Canada. it is an emerging market because of the following. And yes, China has been successful in their agricultural society that produces crops like rice, tobacco, sweet potato, and etc. Whereas their industries is also booming, like that includes textile, machineries, communication, transport equipments, and etc. So that leads China's economy to have an average rate of 10% and an estimated 3 million Chinese people that entered the middle class cohort, which means they have higher consumer who could buy goods in a higher price, and that is behind the success of China's increased GDP. Next is India. India is the seventh largest country in the world and is officially known as Republic of India, also known as Hindustan or Bharat. So these are the reasons why India is considered to be an emerging market. Overall, we can see na yung India kaya siya emerging market dahil masyado siyang flexible in different economic factors. Like agriculture, different industries, banking, sa finance, sa manufacturing. So, once na lahat ng factors na yun nag-succeed, ibig sabihin maglalago talaga yung economy ng isang bansa, and that's what's happened in India. Third is in Europe, where the spotlight is on Russia. Russia is the largest country in the world and is a major exporter of different necessities. So these are the reasons why Russia's economy has emerged. Therefore, we can say na yung industry ng Russia and their agrarian economy are booming. Parang ang successful talaga kasi from being a net grain importer, they became a net grain exporter. So, kaya sila nag-emerge yung market nila dahil sa mga exports nila at the same time sa different economic factors pa. Fourth is on Africa, where the spotlight is in South Africa. South Africa is the 27th largest country in the world and is about the same size when France, Spain, Portugal is combined. Thus, it makes up the southern portion of Africa. So these are the reasons why South Africa's economy has emerged. Therefore, we can say that just like other countries, South Africa has not just relied on their agrarian economy but also in other industries that makes their country more successful and become part of the emerging markets. Lastly, in Latin America, the spotlight is on Brazil. Brazil is the fifth largest country in the world and it nearly covers half of South American continent. So these are the reasons why Brazil's economy has been successful. Therefore, we can say that Brazil's economy has been successful. It's because of the global firms that has been operating in their country. And behind the success of these firms are because of the Brazil's abundant natural resources or resources such as pork, poultry, and etc. So that's all about the reasons why those countries are considered as emerging markets. So you might ask, why it is that those countries are still developing countries even if they have shown massive growth in their economy. Based from what I have researched, it is because it takes time for a country or countries to be considered as developed or advanced one. It needs to have positive economic growth for about 50 decades or more, and also other factors such as unemployment and poverty is hindering those countries to be a developed one. For instance, in South Africa, the GDP per capita is increasing, but the unemployment rate is increasing as well. In the 2019 data, 29% of the population is unemployed. So another one is in Brazil. Brazil is the fifth populous country in the world, so their main problem is poverty. So that's the end of my discussion, hoping that you have learned something from all the topics in this module. Happy learning, everyone! Thank you so much.